Jay-Z's name is back in the headlines, and it has nothing to do with music. A bombshell court order just gave the green light for his alleged son, Rymir, to finally move forward with a long-standing paternity case. The clock is ticking, and Jay-Z has been officially ordered to respond by July 18th. This isn't just some tabloid drama anymore. It's court official, threatening to unravel an empire built on carefully crafted silence. But who's been throwing gasoline on this whole situation? You already know 50 Cent. That man stays messy, and he's loving every second of this one, running wild with the story on social media. And now, even Nicki Minaj has jumped in, reposting 50's shady tweet and adding her own flavor. If the queen of rap is watching this unfold, you know it's serious. And get this, word on the street is Beyonce herself might be trying to block this case behind the scenes. Folks are saying she's allegedly flexing her influence again, just like Rymir's godmother claimed in earlier interviews. The power plays going on in the background are wild. But the silence from Jay-Z, usually so quick to shut down accusations, is deafening. Why? The man who claims to be Jay-Z's son, Rymir, has a story that begins decades ago. He states his mother, Wanda, hooked up with Jay-Z back in 1992 at his aunt's apartment in Brooklyn. According to Wanda, Jay picked her up in Philly. They messed around, used protection, but it allegedly didn't work. She got pregnant. Jay came back once about 2 weeks later and then vanished, leaving her with no way to reach him again. Rymir says he didn't even know any of this until he was around 8 years old, when his mom finally told him she believed Jay-Z was his real dad. Up until then, another man, her living boyfriend, Robert Graves, was listed on the birth certificate. But in 2011, a DNA test proved Robert wasn't the father, and his name got legally erased. Wanda directly told Rymir she'd only been with 2 men, Robert and Jay-Z. So, if Robert isn't it, who does that leave? But here's where it turns into a whole different storm. One of the biggest reasons Jay-Z's allegedly been dodging that paternity test is what people are whispering. When he purportedly slept with Wanda, she was just 16, and Jay was 22. That's a serious situation. If true, it could explain exactly why he's been staying far away from that courtroom. If true, this changes everything, revealing a much darker reason for Jay-Z's years of evasion. Wanda actually did try to hold him accountable back in the day, filing a civil suit demanding child support from Jay-Z. But the case got thrown out, not because it had no merit, but because she filed it in the wrong state and never got a second shot. Jay's legal team jumped on that, with one of his lawyers claiming Jay-Z had no interest in any custody case involving Rymir. So, Wanda couldn't push forward. But Rymir wasn't giving up that easy. He took the fight into his own hands, and according to him, every time he made progress, it was like running into a brick wall. He says Jay-Z was using his money and influence to block him at every turn, paying off lawyers, judges, and whoever else to keep the case frozen. He even claims these judges, these lawyers, this fraud, collusion, who knows what it's for, money or friendships, or whatever they got going on. He went all the way to the Supreme Court, but they shot him down, saying they didn't have the power to reopen sealed cases from lower courts. Still, Rymir didn't stop. He refiled again, this time in the appellate division of the New Jersey Superior Court. The fact that he's made it this far says a lot. The legal battles were relentless, but a major breakthrough was just around the corner thanks to an unexpected source. Jay-Z's legal team has been playing hardball from day one, arguing he shouldn't be forced to take a DNA test in New Jersey just because, get this, he supposedly never lived or owned property there. That technicality almost had Rymir cornered, because legally there was no way to force Jay-Z to submit to a paternity test until Rymir pulled out the receipts. Rymir came with proof, y'all. He posted a bombshell detail from Tina Knowles. Yes, Beyonce's own mother. In her book, Tina allegedly confirmed that Jay-Z did, in fact, have property in New Jersey during the time this case first started. That's huge. So, all that talk about Jay never having ties to the state? It might have just collapsed. The man had property there, so now there's a real legal path forward. With all this back and forth, you'd think this would have been shut down years ago, but finally, the judge said enough is enough. The case is moving forward, and the momentum is shifting. Just as this case gained undeniable momentum, another powerful voice entered the fray, exposing a deeper, more sinister narrative. Thousands of people are backing Rymir now, rallying behind him, demanding the truth. And guess who's helping shine a light on this case? 50 Cent and Nicki Minaj. Nicki isn't just standing on the sidelines. She's coming straight for Jay-Z's empire. After reposting a deep-cut interview with Dre Hadley, who's none other than the estranged daughter of Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez, Nicki went off. In the interview, Dre accuses her own mother of getting her locked in a mental institution. She even claims Roc Nation was gunning for Nicki, trying to shut her down completely and rob her of her voice. Nicki is not backing down. She blasted Roc Nation for going after her family, saying they targeted her husband, her child, and made moves that should have the whole country concerned. Nicki herself said, "I've witnessed and heard a lot of things. They've abused her platform. They abused her talent. They've her freedom of speech. They've her family. They've attacked her husband. They've attacked her child." Her words were intense, like a direct warning. She called it sabotage, and it's got people wondering how deep this really goes. Lately, Nicki's been opening up even more, dropping hints that Jay-Z and his crew have been actively trying to destroy her from behind the scenes. She said it's the real reason she's held back from dropping music. She even suggested there's been a silent campaign to turn her own husband, Kenneth Petty, against her, using lies and pulling strings behind closed doors. All this while Jay-Z stays quiet. Now that says a lot. Nicki Minaj didn't stop there. She turned up the heat even more, putting Jay-Z on serious blast, claiming that not only has her content and fan pages been shadow banned across social media, but it's all part of a clear strategy to damage her brand. And the kicker? Nicki says Jay-Z actually owes her money. Yep, she aired it out loud, and now she's hopped into Rymir's corner, adding even more pressure on Jay to finally face that paternity test. The layers of this drama run deep, but Rymir's fight isn't just about paternity, it's about a broken system. After years of getting dragged through legal chaos, Rymir might finally be getting a chance to put this entire mess behind him. But even with all this support building up from celebrities to everyday folks, there are still people questioning Rymir's intentions. What does he really want? Is it money? A public apology? Or does he just want Jay-Z to acknowledge the past? Well, Rymir made it real clear in recent statements. This case ain't about being accepted as a son or begging for a family reunion. It's way bigger than that. Rymir said straight up, this is about broken courts, corrupt judges, and a legal system that failed his family. He claims shady court orders caused his family to lose money and even led to illegal liens being placed on their home. That's why he's been fighting for so long. He's trying to get justice, not just a last name. He's been consistent with his stance. I don't want money or anything like that from Jay-Z. I just want him to finally tell the truth to the world. And he hit Jay with a real question. If you say you're not my father and nothing ever happened with my mom, then why won't you just take the test? Why is your first reaction always a hard no? At this point, Rymir just wants answers. He wants clarity. He wants the world to know whether Jay-Z actually brought his mom, Wanda, across state lines when she was allegedly 16 from Philly to Brooklyn, where they allegedly hooked up. That's one of the biggest claims that's never been fully addressed. And until Jay steps forward, the questions are only going to get louder. But the story takes an even more terrifying turn with life-threatening accusations. Let's get into these final jaw-dropping details, because the mess is unreal. First off, Jay-Z's lawyers were caught lying in court. Yep, they told the judge they misspoke, but the documents don't lie, and folks are calling that move straight-up damage control. Then there's the kicker. Jay-Z officially denied all the claims in court, despite allegedly trying to settle the whole thing quietly years ago. So why the sudden shift? What's really going on behind closed doors? But it gets even darker. Rymir dropped a bombshell. He says after he filed that civil suit against Jay-Z, someone tried to take him out. He claims he was shot at and posted photos of his car with bullet holes to back it up. Not only that, he says something was planted in his car, and when police pulled him over, it felt like a full setup. These aren't just wild accusations. These are life-threatening claims. And if true, it's terrifying. This all sounds eerily similar to what Dre Hadley said about Roc Nation's CEO, Desiree Perez. Remember, she accused her own mother of locking her away and using intimidation tactics to silence people. The parallels between Dre's story and Rymir's accusations? It's given pattern. It's given calculated. The dots are connecting, and people are starting to pay serious attention. With the pressure mounting, the question remains, everything is heating up fast, and now that the judge has ordered Jay-Z to respond, the pressure is officially on. Will he finally face this head-on, or keep dodging like before? The truth, it seems, is far from fully revealed, and the questions surrounding Jay-Z's past and the legal system itself are only growing louder. What do you think? Is Rymir telling the truth, or is there something even bigger going on behind the scenes?